Hey. Oi. Holy smokes. Ladies and gentlemen.
What's good, y'all?
Oh my God.
Wait, do we have audio coming through?
Oh, thank you. Hey.
There it is.
Holy smokes, ladies and gentlemen. Hey.
We just clipped the shit out of it.
Right. No, the red's not clipping quite yet. Folks, welcome back to the Producer Lounge. We're going to blow some stuff up. As you've probably noticed, we have 2 cameras now. Yep. Folks.
Do we?
It's brand new.
When did we set that up?
It's a professional show, everybody.
Shit is going to get real as soon as I can make this not be retarded.
Caleb.
There we go.
Soft arm.
Folks. Hey,
have to bleep that out within the first
slow.
10 minutes of the
It's
YouTube
a musical
episode.
phrase, if you don't know. Folks, if you don't know, retarded means to slow the note down or the phrase.
It's a technical term.
Yes, it is a technical term.
He knows the term from music.
That's true. I did play music for a long period of time. I still do from time to time, hence why we have the show. And folks, it is episode 219. It's an episode to remember. That's right. We got Spades on the show, baby. Hey, welcome on, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Spades in the building. Spades in the building.
I'm going to reset the audio on this.
Okay, he's going to reset the audio. We're getting some choppiness because old computer. Happens all the time.
Ancient computer.
I mean, that PC...
It's from like 98.
Nope.
97.
Nope.
96.
2015.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. It's basically 96.
Basically. And it was like a $750 computer at the time. But it got me through Ableton for like 7 years.
Yeah.
You know?
Did its due diligence.
And you just work around. Just work around when the shit fucking shits the bed, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just do what you can.
Are you all one of those guys who just push your CPU to max, basically, until things start breaking, and then you start flattening?
I mean...
I was, yeah.
I was at one point. But
I don't really have to do that with Bitwig, though, because I'm flattening things to audio so fast now, because that's just the workflow in there, because I don't have to freeze and then flatten. I can just bounce right quick, which I think 12.2 has now.
the auto...
Yeah, you just right-click and
tracks.
bounce, and
Yeah,
it just,
the fucking best.
yeah. That's sick. Thank
Dude,
God.
You would not believe this. I'm still on 10.
Hey, me too.
Yeah?
I mean... I use Bitwig, but the one I own and use is 10.
I just never saw a reason to upgrade. I mean, now I kind of at 12, I see some reason. Dude, I'm so outside of like Ableton. Everything I use is an auxiliary VST. So like,
Gotcha.
I'm really just using Ableton at this point to kind of just lay out like compositionally my songs, and I'm so audio based as well. On top of it, I commit to audio so frequently.
Brother.
I'm bouncing everything to audio. I don't really stay in like the MIDI world for a very long time with any of my VSTIs. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just stay with 10. Why try to change my UI or not UI, my
workflow
the OS. There we go.
Oh,
upgrading OS, upgrading the software, any of it. I'm just like,
that's fair.
It works. If it's not broken, don't try to fix it.
And I guess that's also fine when you're collaborating with people. If you're just used to working with audio, if
That's
they just
the
send you
shittiest
stems,
part.
like,
That's the only way
It's
I've had
the
to do it. And it
argument.
sucks making songs around stems. Me and Nyquist did the song together, and I'd like piece everything out from audio and like chopping everything up into little parts again. And it's I was like, damn, this would have been so much easier if I just had fucking 11.
I know, right?
Or 12 or whatever. But whatever.
That's why I upgraded to 12, because like all of my friends had moved basically, and they all wanted to make songs, and I was like, I can't fucking work with stems. I'm just gonna buy the bullet and spend $250 or whatever. Like,
right.
And it's not too bad because you get the upgrade price. It's not like you're paying another $900, which is kind of nice, but
True.
I don't know.
If they made you rebuy, that would be insane.
Yeah.
That'd be like some shit Apple would do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like what is new in 11 that you're like, oh yeah, hey, thanks.
Good call.
Sorry about the floor, guys.
Yeah.
What is
Sounds
new?
so nice now.
I know. It's like, oh, so nice and quiet.
Yeah, from 10 to 11, I don't think there was really much different at all. So that's why I never saw a reason to upgrade. But 10 to 12 is definitely like, there's some shit different.
yeah.
I'm like, damn,
Oh,
I feel like
yeah.
I'm missing out on some stuff. But
There's all the
feel like
MIDI
there must
thingies
be.
and stuff like that. All those
I actually
little
don't
bits.
use any new features except for the bounce in
Hilarious.
place. Like, yeah, I didn't use anything from 11, nothing from 12. Like,
yeah, I'm just like a I've been doing this shit for a while now, so I'm like, damn, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'm like, I figured out my way I like to make music, and I got all my plugins, and I got all my shit I like to use, and boom, it's just kind of rinse and repeat the same way of making music over and over again.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
You get good at it.
Yeah.
If you do it the same way all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there's a certain point where you can potentially like stagnate your sound a little bit. I think I'm getting to that level where it's like I've kind of been doing it the same way the past like year and a half, and I'm like, I'm just using these same wavetables and these same methods.
That's
like, I need to
crazy.
fucking-
A year and a half?
Maybe.
Okay.
A big thing that
I go through phases over like 4 months where I'm like, change everything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You just
Everything's
throw it all
different
away,
now.
right?
Yeah.
Totally.
My phases are usually just like, oh, I'm gonna make a whole another genre, because then it forces me to. But then I go back to like, oh, now I'm gonna make a left field bass song, and I just do the same shit. So I'm really trying to just do fucking weird stuff lately.
Yeah, totally. You know how like in the Ableton drop down the side, how you could go into like your other sessions inside of the session you're in? I've been like pulling old sounds like from other songs and bringing them into the session. So like recycle some of my old sounds that were like, so it kind of gives you like the same like
Right, a little
sound,
bit of
a bit of like your continuity.
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Right, and it's really cool too because you're like, oh shit, this is like a great fucking like sweep or something that you have in like some sample pack that you had no idea where it's from, and but like you find it in like an old. It's like a weird different avenue of finding old samples.
Oh yeah,
That's
totally.
so clever.
Yeah, I've been doing that a lot recently.
It's kind of fun too, because you're talking about like bringing in like the MIDI itself, right?
Yeah, it'd be like, well, it like separates into 3 separate. There's like consolidated things, like recorded, and like something else. It's like the original sample place.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it's only things that were all bounced to audio. I don't know if you could bring in any MIDI per se.
I think you could grab MIDI.
yeah, there is a way.
Can you?
I'm
I
pretty
forget
sure.
how. I don't do it that much, but
I don't use Ableton anymore, so
where
I
are you
wouldn't
using?
really know. We use
Yeah, we're
Bitwig.
both.
Oh, both.
Bitwig.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we have the same issue with collabs. So
Yep. Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
True.
Yeah. We have to just bounce
I
everything
mean,
to audio.
technically, we
It's just
could
easier.
open your Ableton project in Bitwig.
We can. We can get pretty close. It's like
But-
85% accuracy.
Yeah.
But again, it comes down to like somebody's going to have a slightly different version of Portal or like whatever the fuck. And you're
Yeah.
like, God damn it. Now half the song is screwed up.
Dude,
like,
that is the bane of electronic music production right there. If there was if someone made like a third party like software that streamlined everything, that it like somehow broke down the ones and zeros of and read everything off of your like, Pro Q 3.1,
I think,
whatever.
I think we showed there was a Max for Live or something.
Oh, really?
Thing that you could drop your track in, and then it would just tell you like,
Oh,
here's
yeah.
all the
parameter
VSTs and all the things that this person's gonna need.
Right.
It was like
It
a
lets you know
TikTok
ahead
or
of
something
time.
that
Yeah.
we threw on.
What
there
was
might
that?
be something like that.
I thought Jack Lyon was that. It might have been Jack Lyon. He wanted
Really?
to make something like that. Maybe, I can't remember.
I think it was both. I think one of them sprung the other, not in terms of like them, but us in terms of the
Wow.
conversation
Oh,
when we were
yeah.
talking
He was
about him.
rock hard. Is that what you're saying?
He was
just
rock hard.
sprung.
He was straight up.
I get sprung. What song is that?
No idea.
That's
I get sprung.
Let's go. Thanks,
You know what
Matt.
I'm talking about?
yeah, it's that 90s song, Parachute
Yeah.
Pants guy. I like
Yeah.
big butts. Whoever that's
yeah,
by. Sir
that's
Mix-a-Lot.
what it is.
Sure, Mix a lot.
There you
Dude,
go.
that would be a fun remix.
That's like
Shout out
Totally.
to Mix a lot.
that's the trivia question of the
You
day.
come on the pod.
Yeah.
I always forget now the camera's in front of me. Come on the pod.
Oh yeah.
I like the
That is gonna
camera
be weird
used
to
to
get
be
used
right
to.
there, so we're
Yeah.
so used to like looking
right,
that
looking,
direction.
yeah.
But now I can just look up. It's really bizarre.
Here you go. No more head turns.
I'm looking at you. Chat seems to think that it looks good, so that makes me happy.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, makes me happy.
Yeah, makes me happy too. I mean, it's fun. It's weird because I have to sit here and think about, like, oh, Austin's gonna talk.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
he's not talking now. I'm talking, but I can just go to the dual cam, which is nice.
So I want to talk something we haven't
Please.
talked about a lot
Please talk.
is like making risers or making like effects and sweeps kind of stuff.
I feel like we mention it, but for sure we
Yeah.
don't like get into the nit.
I want to do a deep dive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've been
Okay.
playing with some stuff lately.
What's your
but,
thoughts?
I want to hear your guys' first. What are your
Okay.
techniques? You guys don't really make risers that much, right? Do you?
I can jump off the gun with this one
Yeah.
real quick. So I'm working on this remix that shall not be named. And I'm taking the approach that Mefuse was kind of talking about in one of his most recent videos on YouTube. And basically the idea is he takes 8 bars at a time and he just maximalizes those 8 bars. So he'll take like the original content and he'll just like resample it and blend it with new stuff to just make it more intense or just more itself.
Sure.
Is kind of the thought. And with risers and buildups, he'll just take whatever content is there and just throw them all into samplers and just sit there and loop them and tighten the loops and do a bunch of like cliche kind of stuff. But when it's all with the original content and then it's blended back in with the original content, the amount of tension that you get is insane. So a thought that I got from that is when you're making a riser, it's good to, or it's a thought to at least always have a twofold kind of approach. You have a riser that's just an atonal thing that's not rising in pitch, but it's rising in some other way. Maybe it's rising in cadence. Maybe it's rising in
feedback is being turned up or something.
Yeah, or like the bit crush is being applied, but then you have the same sound, but it is actually pitching.
Interesting.
So they're just going to sit there in dissonance the whole time, and you get this like this really uncomfortable spot, which is fun. So that's my 2 cents on risers that I was fucking with earlier today.
It is fun to think about, doing anything else to build tension other than pitch. That's really nice.
Right. That or just the play of pitch with another thing that's not pitching.
Yeah.
So then they're constantly fighting. Like they'll fall in and out of phase depending on what pitch it's hitting, which is kind of fun.
That's interesting. That's a cool idea. Yeah, honestly, I'm 95% of the time just using samples for my risers and sweeps.
Me too.
And just, but what I have done in the past, which is kind of cool, is like recording a reverb tail and then taking a filter, either low pass or high pass, both, and then moving it through it, but then also applying a comb filter that's moving along with it. So it's like getting this like nice kind of like push of like this constant.
Yeah, you're
like,
pushing the energy with it. Oh, that's cool.
And and there's no pitch. Well, I mean, technically, if you're using a high pass and you're removing more and more of it, you're technically moving the pitch over the spectrum,
Get
but
a little bit of drift.
You're just like applying the comb filter
making
is,
nodes.
Yeah, exactly, and maybe even try, instead of it being decreasing across your spectrum, trying like doing the comb filter as additive, and trying it that way too, and maybe getting more out of it. And then recording that, and then going and then like repeating that process again, and then distorting it or doing whatever you need to do to saturate it XYZ.
Right. Reiterate that
pitch.
I love like the pitch drift you get off of a comb filter as well.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's one of my favorite. It's like
the way
I like a random moving a comb to give like a tape warble.
It sits in the mix really well too with everything else, and it kind of is just like when it's constant variable, it almost like gives this like constant space in the mix in a certain way.
Fully agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a concept that blew my mind when it clicked. Was just like any kind of movement will mix the song better.
Yeah,
just because you're just You're just giving your brain room to decipher what it's listening to.
Totally.
That shit's sick.
Do you know phase plant?
Yes, I use Faceplant.
Okay, good. Thank God. Amen, brother.
Oh yeah. Definitely. That is
Did you cop the filter table when they released that?
No, actually.
Really?
I have not.
Bro.
I mean, you're making it sound like I fucking should. I haven't used Faceplant in a while.
Okay, so it's basically, imagine a filter that's also a wavetable. So it's a wavetable filter. Actually, that's a better way to say it. So it's a filter where like the cutoff is determined on you scrolling through
a
wavetable.
Okay,
yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Oh, so it almost makes it like a two-factor.
Well, there's a bunch of different. There's like 3 different parameters. Like you can mess with the wavetable position and the cutoff and the resonance all at once, and it's all just gonna sit there and just goof around. But what's sick is there's a bunch of different modes, specifically the raw mode. And when you have like a comb-esque filter on there, but you can take any wavetable that Faceplant has and make it a filter, which is sick. So you can just sit there and experiment. But when you have it on the raw mode and you add a little bit of modulation, just a skosh, it'll just sit there and drift all day. So you can just
You're always getting
is really
slightly
nice.
different.
Oh, it's fucking beautiful, dude.
Oh, yeah,
I put that
that's
shit.
sick.
I put that shit on everything.
Fuck yeah. No, that's the way to do it.
It's
I mean,
super saucy.
I kind of do the same thing with like Pro Q3, and I'll just do a bunch of points, highlight them all, and then because you can set ones that are additive and subtractive, highlight them all, which I guess you could do with what's Minimal Audio's one that they do with the moving morphine. It's MorphiQ, right? Is that what's called?
Yes, MorphiQ.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm just doing the same thing that's doing, but all manually.
Are you doing it in a certain
highlighting
mode?
points. No, it's just
Okay.
regular. I mean, sometimes I'll change like the amount of dB per octave on like the bell curve.
Sure, but you're not.
But I'm
you're not
like,
in linear mode or natural phase or anything like that.
I mean, natural phase is what I would do. it
Sure.
in.
I mean, me too. But
yeah, and then I'll just highlight everything, move it all around, and then just record all that, and then I put that's like. I guess that's my sound design. That's Mud Pies. That's how I make all my sounds.
Yeah.
And then to go back on the comb filter thing, the really cool thing I've been doing lately is like I'll take back like the sounds from other songs, bring those in, and then apply these little filter points all over the sound that I've already used, and like add and subtract all these little points. I'll get these really cool, just extra harmonic or loss of harmonics in certain points, and then completely change the sound. It sounds different, even though it's really the same sound I use from another song. So it's like
Totally.
you know, but it's kind of just like effectively what comb filtering is. If you do enough points, you know, it's
right. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. It's a bunch of resonant peaks and troughs.
or exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to do a similar thing if I'm like reusing a sound, either just from the track itself or somewhere else. Just want to get it to sound different. There's a harmonic frequency splitter in Bitwig that does like spectral splitting of harmonics.
Can you translate that to Ableton terms for me? What would that be in Ableton? Like
It doesn't exist in Ableton.
No. Is there another
technically.
plugin that would do a similar thing that you could think of?
Do you know how a vocoder works? How it's
Yes.
splitting it into bins? So that's spectral.
Okay.
So it's doing that, but it's giving you a spectral load of everything, and then it's splitting certain bands into different containers that you can
Spectral
then
load.
affect.
But you could affect them all in
And you can
spatial.
squeeze how big they are, how many bins they contain.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's almost like
It's so sick.
it's almost like multi-band
it's like
compression, but
on
you
crack,
can do
like
it,
on
you
like
can
thousands.
use every single
Yeah.
separate one
Yeah.
and morph every single separate one.
Yeah.
That would
This-
be a
like
really
the-
long chain to build in Ableton. if you
I
do it. I'm
know.
like thinking how you do it. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, that would take me so long. I wouldn't even want to do it.
I would not be surprised if somebody's built
There's a third
something
party.
that kind of does a thing that's similar.
Yeah.
The thing with Bitwig is it has containers that are like useful in a very specific way. So instead of like a grouped thing, you might have one of these splitters, which that's what it's doing. It's basically giving you a split effects channel
Right.
based on the spectral shit that it's doing.
right.
So I can go and drop a chorus on just like only these harmonics or whatever it is,
Sure. Yeah.
and then go and dial it in. And
That's
then
cool.
Put a random on it to where it
God, that is so cool.
makes it warble around
Honestly,
the spectrum.
I don't use it enough.
It's so good. In regards to risers, a nice 50% wet frequency shifter can fuck.
Can fuck for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
1000%.
That's an awesome
That's
track
an
for
awesome
sure.
move,
But you
yeah.
can. But then the step ahead of that is you automate either the mix, because you can that's basically the wet dry of the modulation happening, and or the frequency size, I guess there, because then you can make it.
Speed. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
you can
good.
make it like sweep or go down, which again, having two where one is sweeping up and one is sweeping down, while one is staying the same pitch and one is going to pitch in a different direction, you're going to get so much conversation between all those things that it's just going to build tension like a fucking motherfucker. But I say that as the guy who likes no build-ups at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm the guy who would just go
Anti-build-up
from
guy.
just atmospheric, like, oh, and then there's a clap, and then it's just drop.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a good move.
yeah, I mean, that's the ultimate tension. Is like you go from one thing just straight to another. Just fucking AB. AB, son?
Yeah. No, that's.
I don't know. That might not be the ultimate tension. I might just be full of shit.
So the really big build-ups. I mean, they do have their place and they can work very well. When they're overdone, though,
I agree.
Oh my god, it's bad. It reminds me of just like the pentatonic guitar solo from the 70s, like E minor blues. Like, That's kind of what the build-up is. It's so like, I don't know. It's like that sort of like cheesy predictability
It's
that like
so
that your
true.
like basic crowd is gonna love though. And they're like, Dad, I know what's happening next.
I know where we're going.
Well,
They will love it.
that's what everybody made fun of, like back in the day, like back in like 2013, 2014. If you looked at SNL and everything, like there's the one, the Andy Samberg bit that's like 3 minutes long, and it's just a build up the whole time.
yeah,
and he's on
exactly.
stage and he's like chopping vegetables.
Yeah.
He's playing with a train. He's like doing a whole bunch of things, and everyone's like, "When's the song gonna drop?" And it's just
And it finally
constantly
drops
just
and
fucking
everyone's head
building.
explodes.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what happens at the end, but it's just ridiculous. And yeah, that's a trope for a thing.
Yeah, I kind of fell away from the big build-up thing. It'll be maybe like eighth note is as fast as I'll go for like the last like measure right before if I wanted to like
Yeah, like really build.
to feel like there's I don't know, but
Yeah, I think my favorite thing is just like if you have a groove that happens before the breakdown or the breakdown / rise. I like to just minimalize the drums with like a group of filters, so a high pass, low pass,
Yep.
and they just immediately kind of cut it a little bit, and then you just automate those to like do a fun thing.
Yeah.
Whether it's like bringing them up to
I
or
just kind of
down, like just a thing like that where it's not trying to build, like it's not a snare fucking build.
exactly.
It's just the drums that are being tucked.
Well, and that's kind of a similar thing
Right.
that you might not even recognize it, but that was kind of taken a lot from like the metal hardcore world, how they used to high pass filter like the guitar, the pre-guitar, like and then everything
and
comes
then it
in.
would open back
Yeah,
up.
that's kind of like the same
I kinda
sort of
forgot about that.
ideology. Like Periphery would do that a lot back
Right,
in the day,
yeah.
and they'd
I
have a
forget
lot
their
of that.
old
Like,
shit.
yeah, exactly. Their older shit and like that. Like that 2012 Genty stuff
Yeah,
would
I
do
didn't
that all the
think about
time.
that.
That's like where a lot of that kind of came from. Was
Interesting.
a similar because there wasn't any build up, but it still held that same sort of
Right,
like
right,
intensity and that
right.
like cool like shift
mean,
from high to low that the
it-
brain wants to hear.
For lack of a better term, and people might not agree with me, but this is the universe that I was in, is it's kind of acid music where when you're listening to music on acid, the building of tension and the release is like that's the whole sauce. And that's why jam bands exist, because the songs are 14 minutes long, because it's like 7 minutes of building tension and then you go back to the main groove you were introduced to 8 minutes ago and everybody's like, oh my god. And it's like if you do that enough times, like it will naturally release the dopamine in a sober person.
Yeah.
So you just sit there and you just juice that until it's a formula. And next thing we know, we have electronic music that all you have to do is add a snare and a white noise for 32 bars, and everyone's like,
Yeah, I always think about that all the time. Like what white noise is actually doing a song, because I put white noise like every fucking song I make. And I was working on this or
That's what I'm talking
Kofresi. I was
White noise.
I played a show in Chicago pretty recently. I was hanging out with Kofresi afterwards, and he was showing me this one
Shout out.
song he's working on, and he's like, it's missing something. What is it missing? I'm like, dude, it's missing white noise. I'm like, just show me. I just open up fucking Operator, fucking do a white noise thing, and just over every bass, I'm just and I even like show him like the rattly shit that you could do with the auto pan.
But then
he was like, oh my fucking god. He's like, dude, thank you. This was what was missing. But like, I just do that in like every song. Like whenever I feel like something's missing, I'm like, but what is that? Is it just like the brain subconsciously wanting to hear a full sonic spectrum? Is it, like
So we have a theory
okay.
here in this house, or at least me and Dave like the Talented a lot, is the idea of noise in general on your track is a good thing.
Yes.
Like having some tape noise or anything like that, because the whole thought is the speaker is a cone and it's moving back and forth.
Okay.
And you can use an absolute silence to your advantage. Like the cone just stops.
Yes.
But I think it's generally easier, and you can get more, I guess, robustness out of the air being moved if the speaker's never stopping. Like it's never having to fully stop to then just create a transient from nothing.
Sure.
It's constantly just always goofing around a little bit. And I also think it plays into the fact that nothing is truly silent. So having a little bit of noise on everything just makes our ears naturally
isn't
be
that
able
why
to like
dithering was
feel
created?
Right.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But you can go overboard because nowadays there's the third idea where back in the day we wanted to make everything clean because we had outboard gear and it all hummed. We wanted to make it clean as possible. And then we all started working in the box, and now it's the opposite. You want to add noise. You want to add wow.
So
you want to
funny.
add all this shit.
Yeah.
So it's like there's
You're
all those things
literally
combined.
making the pitch bend.
Yeah.
Fake in
Yeah,
a fake.
yeah, I
way.
never
fucking
even-
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even I was talking about that with another audio engineer that I work with, and he's saying at the end of the day, he's like, even like via analog or even digital, like everyone will be like, oh, like the older like Midas, consoles, like sound so good because of the blah blah blahs and that, and like I was like, what? It's all
Of course.
squiggly air at the end of the day, though. It's all getting pushed to the same medium.
It's jazz. It is the imperfections in the tunes that make it good.
Right? No, exactly.
Like that's what's good.
Yeah, you're just pushing air at different frequencies at the end of the day. So it's like,
Yeah, and we work in a weird box where we're not like making music from different instruments that are resonating.
yeah, it's just
It's from a speaker.
frequencies.
Yeah, it's just
That
air being pushed by
right.
this fucking cone. So it's like we're in this own realm.
Yeah, it is
Which
a
is
new
weird.
frontier as far as music
Kind of.
is being concerned. That's what is the coolest thing about
Agreed.
electronic music is that it's based around frequencies. It's not based around like I mean, obviously it's all music at the end of the day, but it's not like it's musical in the way like when I sit down, I play guitar, I'm thinking like I'm playing these chords. I don't go about making electronic music that way. I think like I'm manipulating these frequencies that I know are then translating to certain notality via spectrum, and note is there's a correlation between the two, but it's just like I'm more so just like pushing sounds and just slamming shit till it sounds like cool.
Yeah.
I'm not like holding a single G note when I play guitar and like, oh, if I push enough through this, like, because I've made songs before, it's just one note the entire time, but then I'm like doing like different manipulations to set the single note,
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I remember being in a band once upon a time, and the homie was like, we need like a higher pitched thing. And that was like a moment for me where I was like, oh yeah, there's like a frequency thing happening here, and we need to fill
that frequency.
all of the frequencies.
And that's like what white noise is.
The
Like,
same thing with the noise, yeah.
White noise is just
exactly.
filling that
Dude.
frequency. There's like this like loss of, and I think what I really think it is that the air, it sounds like air and it sounds like energy.
Yeah.
Like,
Correct.
pushing the white noise
Yeah.
over the sound just gives it more of like a
It-
live
It
kind of
adds
feel.
a physicality.
Yeah.
Right.
Is,
Yeah.
is the way I've heard it.
Favorite fucking things is when the song drops and it has like a feeling of like a room or something like it's like it shifts the like convolution of the room or some shit like that.
Right. Yeah.
And then something changes, and then the whole room
Is that like
changes
certain reverbs
in a
being
way.
used though? Like what, like certain
I think
delays
it's a-
and reverbs.
I think it's a
creating
combination of a
space,
lot of that.
Yeah. I think that's why I got obsessed with sub drops also. Because on a giant sound system, it just sounds like the whole room is just like matrix warping.
yeah.
Just,
Right.
Yeah, totally.
fucks me up every time.
That's funny.
It's the most simple
Yeah.
thing.
I think it's really hard to do well, for one thing. I think noise that is like buzzy room noise works really fucking well. So if you just change the room noise that you're using for a section, it will automatically sound like it's in a different room, which is super fun to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you know Ivy Lab?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so their most recent album, good grief,
I forget the name.
I don't remember the name at all.
Infinite Falling Ground Part 2. There we go. I was like falling. No, I couldn't think of it. if you listen to those songs, there's a couple in particular where like the noise floors are loud as shit. Like there's just like the whole time. But then like in just the bridges, it'll just completely change. Like and it'll go wide and super behind you and not as bright and more like guttural, and then it'll switch back and then switch back again in like a quick moment, and like all this is like moving the whole like guts of the song around.
That's
and
really cool.
It's so cool. It's such. I'm like, fuck. Like how. Like you have to pay such attention to like these little finite details.
Yeah, and when it's all sitting in the mix together, you don't even notice it until that bridge happens, and you realize when everything else goes away, and you're like, oh, that was there the whole time. But it's never like a conscious thought, really.
There's that, and most people probably don't know.
Oh, yeah.
They're just like, yeah, it's different.
I mean, you will.
Where
you
I'm
will
like, oh, the noise.
You will fully do that on accident if you're just a hip hop producer using samples.
Yep, exactly.
Like
Exactly.
recorded.
Exactly. Which is the what they're trying to replicate.
You're going
I think.
and digging up records or whatever, and like recording from a record.
You got one thing in mono and another thing in stereo.
Yeah,
and then,
you're just gonna have that naturally.
And like
We're
maybe you
just trying
record
to
on
make
Bad
everything
Needle
from scratch all the time. So
Yeah.
we're like, how do we? Oh yeah, you just get a recording of when you were walking away from the. Who was playing? Fucking.
At the show downtown.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Opio.
Opia. There you go.
I remembered.
Yeah, we were walking out from the Opio, recorded like a little walk through like this
archway kind of thing.
glass area downtown. It's like outdoor but indoor. So there's like some birds chirping.
And a bunch of echo. It sounds so sick.
Yeah.
People walking by talking a little bit here and there.
It sounds
and that's so good to put into a song. Just
Yeah.
30 dB lower.
Yeah,
20,
just bury it.
Yep.
Just bury it.
But it's just there. It's just filling out, and like the little peaks that come through every now and then. It's almost like it's like a vinyl like crackled sort of.
Right.
But it's just a different.
Totally.
It's a different like. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a different like texture, I guess.
Yeah,
of using that.
It is a
Yes.
dither.
Yeah,
some
it is.
degree, you know?
I use a lot of my drops in my songs. I'll use like crowd cheering from like a like a football game, like
Right.
and like I'll like filter EQ the right way and just sits right there, like right when the drop comes. I actually learned that from I don't know exactly if he's doing this, but it sounds like he is in Equinox, like First of the Year, the Skrillex song, like right at the drop.
okay.
It sounds like there's a crowd. So I heard that back in the day. I was like, oh, that sounds sick. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll try
That's
it.
a
And
good
like,
idea.
I put that in like so many of my songs. And it's just,
Yeah, sure.
it's just like a really big way to make the drop just sound fucking huge, you know? It doesn't work for every type of song.
for sure. I have a track where in a moment,
It's a lo-fi song.
right? Especially
Actually, that would work.
Especially a crowd cheer from like a hockey game, so you catch a couple dudes like
right.
some crazy shit.
Hell yeah.
No, but I have a drum and bass track that has like a C section. It's not pregnant, but it has like.
Well, it was until the C-section.
That's correct. It has a certain section that's kind of like an additional little moment before the bridge, and each time it happens, like the first time I heard it when I rendered it, there was something that was accidentally not muted that sounded like a bunch of people clapping. It was like, and I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And so I immediately like muted that thing and grabbed a crowd like like a little bit of a golf clap, and it fits like perfect every time. Like it's like that. That's exactly what needed to happen right there. Like it adds just a little bit of noise and intrigue into this moment, and then by the time it's done, you're already halfway over, so you don't have to wait that long until the thing drops.
Yep.
So it works great every time.
A golf broadcast could be good.
Yes.
Foley.
Yes, a golf broadcast. That is
Good
great.
Foley collection. I like a ASMR.
Yeah.
That does really good.
Yeah, just put that into a song.
You rip
Genius.
ASMR and it's it's trying to be clean, and
But it's
like
not.
detailed look and detailed sounding and stuff. And then
I mean,
and then
it's really good white noise. I mean, brown noise.
I got
It is more
one. This
brown
guy's
noise,
like
but-
spraying a little thing, and so it's just like. Psst,
Oh,
and
it's a white noise
in
fucking-
stereo as well.
Yeah,
They're
right.
like- they're like doing it across the thing. It's like,
Damn, I never thought to use AMSR.
oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
That's genius.
I mean, just find.
That's a good move.
Here, let me show you. If we switch over to Ableton here, folks, which the cameras are going to be janked right now.
Oh, no.
Because we didn't even set this up for Ableton. But
We missed something.
folks
there.
at home can see this. If you
Are we
just,
upside down?
if you have this extension right here, this is the sample extension for Chrome or Brave.
I didn't even know this thing. I was going to say audio hijack is what I use.
Oh, nice.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Well, this, you can just record and it records anything on the browser happening at any moment.
No
So you can just go to like a Twitch broadcast.
I didn't know this existed.
Yeah,
Fuck.
and just sit there and record
it's so
and
nice.
just grab a bunch of stuff. It's super nice. And then you can download it and lets you save
can
it to
save
whatever folder you want.
Saves
And
as a wave.
it does save it as a wave.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
if you're recording a YouTube video, it's most likely playing at MP3. So it's recording a WAV, but it's technically MP3 quality. So there's those
That's
things
why
you need to be aware of.
Before you
But-
record, you set it to 144 pixels,
Right.
the most low quality possible option.
For like the video.
Really good. Really good audio.
Raising Rams, guys.
Yeah, you want that 96 kbps at
Yeah,
best.
exactly, dude.
Right. But yeah, it's sauce. You grab
What would-
some.
yeah, you're gonna
ASMR.
have to show me what that
Yeah.
Chrome
Yeah.
because that is a huge.
I'll put it in
It's the
the
fucking best.
description.
Dub. Yeah.
It's
of
literally
video
just
guys
called
do.
like sample, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just
No.
like sample me or something
Yeah,
like
okay,
that.
but-
something.
Yeah, it's some kind of quirky thing, but it works so good.
Hell yeah.
And it's dark
Throw
themed.
it in the Discord.
It is dark themed. Can also just get a Night Owl. What is this thing called? Dark Reader.
Dark reader.
It just turns everything into
Oh,
the
yeah,
most.
I have that.
It's the best
That's
ever,
the
dude.
first thing I got.
Yeah,
when I-
dude.
yeah.
It's just
yeah.
it turns everything pitch black. It's
That and the
beautiful.
fucking ad blockers, the other
Yeah,
goated.
yeah. Well, if you get Brave, it just blocks everything. Like you can watch YouTube on your phone and close the fucking screen, and it'll still fucking play and shit.
Oh,
It's
really?
crazy.
So much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Brave?
Yeah,
It's
Brave.
it's the browser.
And
so
it-
like Chrome, but
it,
it's just called
they
They have a
Brave.
mobile
Yeah.
browser.
Yeah, it runs off the Chrome ecosystem
Yeah,
or whatever, but it
sure.
uses like half the RAM. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It's one of the better, more closely not selling your information.
Right, right.
Yeah,
You,
right,
can-
right.
you have an
I mean,
option.
it's obviously probably doing it, but
You have an option to sell your information, but you'll get their crypto in return.
Oh.
So you can sell their info, but your info to like the database, but you get crypto in like return. It's like this whole thing, which is kind of fun.
And I think for certain ads you allow,
Sure.
you get more
Yeah,
crypto or
right,
something.
right.
So you can know how much you're worth.
Yeah.
This is how much my attention has
I've been
gained
doing
me.
this for years. I have $20 in there.
Yeah,
I know, right.
Exactly.
That can fluctuate at any
Right. It
moment.
might go to 200. It might drop to 0.
Right. Fucking A.
Speaking of 0, you clipping everything to 0? You big clipper guy?
I have gone so many different ways with everything with that because 32-bit flow point. I'm
Right.
redlining the fuck out of everything, and then I'm throwing hard clippers on, and I've experimented with everything to see what sounds best. At the end of the day, I'm clipping everything to 0 and
Yeah, me too.
calling
Okay.
it a day.
Okay.
I have experimented with like the no like limiter, nothing on the master,
Sure.
and just letting it slam through. There was even one song I put I had like a Pro L2 on, and then afterwards I put a utility on and boosted it another 2 dB, and it wasn't distorting anything else. It
Yeah.
sounded good. It just had nice like little bit of this like good. It was actually my collab with Carolyn Banco,
so-
Deutsch.
Nice. Yeah.
Shut up,
it
Big
just,
Nut.
It sounded
Yeah,
good.
shut up, Big Nut.
Yeah, it sounded good. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm keeping it on. I don't know. I understand that there's this thing between auditory clipping and digital clipping are not the same thing.
Sure, there's...
It looks like it will be clipping because it's going off of what the modeling of Ableton, I'm sure Bitwig, Logic, everything is the same way.
Right.
It goes off of what was an analog, like the resistors and capacitors that were built inside the things is the way the ones and zeros are emulating off of it. So it's showing its clipping, but because it would be if it was an analog console, but it's not because it's just digital ones and zeros, and there's a 32-bit float point which never fucking existed until
it doesn't really exist.
Well, true, yeah,
it exists in a buffer.
Yeah,
So
there's this realm of use your ears. You're going back to just being a music producer. Just use your fucking ears, and if it sounds good, keep it. Like, because sometimes shit sounds great distorted. Like, if you're making rhythm, if you're making fucking tear out, you kind of want the whole mix to fucking sound shitty. Well, shit, subjectively shitty, but you know what I mean. It's like you want
blown out and
you want
loud
the kick.
as fuck.
Yeah, you want the kick fucking distorted. You want the snare distorted. You want everything because that's a part of the genre. It's part of the sound.
Totally.
That's how
part of the style.
the first distorted guitar kind of happened that way too. And then obviously you're able to hone it in over time. But
too hard.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely clipping everything to zero though.
It didn't take them very long to figure that out because you're just like, I want it to to be louder though.
Right? Like what happens? I heard that they were like slashing.
I
heard that they're slashing the backs of the cone with like razor blades, so when it cut through, like when the sound was going through, it like wobbled in a different way. And that's how the bit more like the kinks.
Have you? There's a famous video of Noisia where they have a broken speaker and they're like, "This is our secret to get in our noise base," and it's just a broken speaker that's like.
I think I've seen that before.
Like
they put like a cup around it.
Yeah, they put like a cup on
filter.
it. Yeah, they're like,
that's so great.
It's so funny.
Don't they also have like a piece of paper taped to it that's giving extra?
I feel like the white noise.
Yeah, extra fucking amplitude.
It's fucking
modulation.
Hilarious. Yeah, I don't even know if this is really doing anything, but like I use Pro 2 as like my mastering limiter.
Sure, same.
And I'll put it to -0.1 instead of 0. I don't know if it's really doing anything. I just do it as like a
as like a fun thing.
Is like a continual like, oh yeah, so it's just because sometimes even when it shows it hits 0, it might still like go into the red. So like if it's at 0.1,
I've had a couple of those.
Yeah, it's
where
just
I'm
like a weird artifact maybe that's causing it over. It's bleeding through. Yeah, I don't know.
Is it that fast that it's skipping the clipper I have before the L2, and then it's somehow skipping through the 5 milliseconds of the L2? Like,
really? Just duplicate like 10 Pro Ls.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna catch it.
Or some clippers in a row. Speaking of which, Kilohearts, the boys from Faceplant, they just released a clipper.
Oh.
And it's free. And it's
very good.
I like Kilohearts. I use their transient shaper.
Dude,
yeah.
You should grab the clipper. It's free, and it's worth every penny of that free.
Hell yeah.
I use it on everything now. It's the only clipper I use, actually.
Yeah. You find something that works and you just use it on everything. That's what
it's also nice to know the parameters of a thing. Like, it's one thing if like, oh, this is the best clipper, or this is the best synth, or this is the best that, or this, where it's like, if you are just really good with it, and it's like a tool you know how to use, and you know where the limits are, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's not the difference between like a $50 piece of outboard gear and a $5,000 piece of outboard gear. It's just software. There's not really that much difference in general between all the clippers.
It's all translating to swiggly air, so there's a million different ways you could do it. It's like, I say that all the time when people ask me like certain production techniques. It's like, I was telling like, you could use a high pass filter, or you could use a parametric EQ and roll off the low end. It's doing effectively the same thing, two completely different ways to do it.
And then you could automate the EQ, and then it's a filter.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, there's so many different ways that you could go about getting to the same final result with a sound.
It's basically tools in your tool belt, and what you want to do with it.
And what you know how to use well, you know? Like, like even in like boxing, a jab isn't necessarily the most effective punch for winning a fight, but if you have a really good jab, you'll win the fight every fucking time. It's same kind of thing with music.
Yeah, exactly.
If you just continually like use your certain tools that you're good with, like, gonna come with a good product every time.
That as long as you're just like true to yourself to make just like the good art, which is kind of like a dumb thing to say, but there's a lot of people who I think they get jostled up in like the social media of it, and like being like, oh, I got to make sure I like write a banger, and it's like, just make the songs.
Well,
like
social media has ruined
the people will
just
resonate.
make the songs
Well,
ideology.
for sure. For sure.
Totally.
I could go on for a fucking year
know,
about
I
the
agree
issues
with
with social media, and I mean, it's literally. I literally am kind of taking a hiatus from making electronic music right now, literally because of all the qualms I have with
shit.
social media, and how much I just don't want to be a part of that fucking shit show anymore.
I do hate the social media idea of it more than basically everything. But I also like grew up on bands where you had to learn about them via magazines and like the back of the CD, and that's literally all you had.
That is true. There is kind of like a
that was more cool, because like if you had like the rare poster in your room and somebody came over, they're like, oh my god, what the fuck, I haven't seen that poster or whatever. Like, yeah, I got it because I won a fucking raffle in this thing, you know, and now I have this super cool thing, and on the back it tells a story about the band or whatever, you know, like that's
but like
cool.
even like with bands, I always want to know like where they were from or like what got them started.
Right.
Or XYZ. It's like I don't want to know, like I don't want to watch them like dance like to us and like lip sync the pre-drop vocals to the song. Like
you don't?
It's like I would rather like hear like people talk about like their lives more. If you're gonna like take to that with social media, like I don't really.
Right.
It's
or
it's just cheap trick.
Like what we're talking
tips.
about. Like just sit there and talk about the DAW.
But like what would it be for like the
interested.
average consumer? Because it's like, you
That's
know, your
true.
typical
That's a fair
person that
point.
doesn't care about.
Yeah, you're right.
Like you know, they don't give a fuck about.
I mean, I feel like they don't really
third order harmonics. They're like, what the fuck is that?
I feel like they don't really care about what the artist has to say in general, unless it's like really pre-baked and like it's like a visually appealing thing that has to do with a new song they're coming out with. Like if it's just them and they're even like, they're like, oh my god, I feel bad about this thing. Like most of the time it doesn't get that many views.
It's
like
subsequent of just where we're at with the social media zeitgeist of just like people just being like, oh, 3 seconds next, 3 seconds next, 3 seconds next thing. It's like, oh, what's this? Oh, here's a person doing a thing. It's just very like, it's cheap tricks, and it's very like it's meant to be quick, meant to be quickly consumed, meant to be very disposable.
Yeah, which is a bummer because a lot of electronic music kind of falls under that too. It's very disposable. Yeah,
it is,
which is kind of a bummer, but it's kind of necessary with the speed of things. Like you can't have every song really remembered.
Well, it's the nature of what electronic music is, I think, right now. It's because like it's kind of just hip hop beats on steroids at the end of the day. You know, it's not like you're not like you know, you go back to a song that you like from a band like a Tool song or something that came out 20 years ago. You still remember that, and like
I talk about Dream Theater all the time.
You know, exactly. It's like, I was actually talking about with the guy that cuts my hair earlier today. It's like there's still those songs from like when like dubstep for like you're still I can't stop. It's still like you know fucking. There's still like those songs from like Rusco,
Cocky Violin. Exactly.
Like, and then you're like, fuck, like why are you like what were those doing that they became so cemented?
I know.
Well,
because it doesn't. It's not just the fact that it's like the first song.
No, I think it has a little bit to do with that.
Yes.
But I agree. There's something else there.
Something that just makes it iconic. Or it could also just be like right place, right time. Because if you think about those iconic songs, if they were released today, like they would.
I still think
not get popular.
I can't stop.
I think there's a third
would
thing.
be like, what's the third thing?
I don't know, but there's right place, right time, and like another thing that like
I think there's also just like that.
The other thing is the main thing.
Right. Agreed. Agreed.
Non-disposable. Like
yeah,
I can't
whatever
stop.
that means.
Even if it came out today. I still like if Gold Dust came out today. I still think that it would be like a really popular song.
You think so?
Right.
Yeah, have you seen anybody play either of those songs live in their sets? I feel like there's like some artists that will play like the OG I Can't Stop in their sets from time to time, or the OG. Like,
I could see
and it goes the fuck off every time. That's not just because like it's like, oh my god, they're playing that old
there's
song.
half the people in the crowd that don't know what it is.
Exactly, and they're still like, wow, this fucks. Like, you know, there's something about I don't know what. Like, the only thing I think of is more centered around like musicality a bit more. I think like a song.
Yes, but I think there's also at least a percentage that has to do with the production, like the nitty gritty of it. Where back in like the 2012, 2013. The mids were loud and proud. Like nobody was making smiley face style mixes. So when you play it on a PA that didn't have very good bottom end or top end, it was still the loudest thing you've ever fucking heard, and the most representative thing. And when you play those songs today next to a song that has a more smiley face style mix, it's going to immediately be way more present. And the average person isn't going to be like, the hi-hats are a little too harsh. Like, they're not paying attention to that.
Don't care about that.
They're
it's
like
the Fletcher-Munson curve, and they're hearing the natural just
and
harmonics
the
that the ear, and the lead. Yeah, that's the other big thing too. Is like a really, I mean, that's like why Seven Nation Army is so popular.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the lead, and like they were doing that same sort of like Seven Nation Army writing with those songs. They had like a hummable lead. Now it's all just like single
hummable.
note, like it's not so much like hummable leads. Everything. Why did everything in bass music turn into fucking quarter note womps? Why is it all that?
One, there's two things at play, at least in my brain, that are really really important. One being a lot of people really like melody.
Yeah.
And the other being a lot of people don't really like melody.
Yeah.
Because like me, I'll fuck with just a riff. Like I'll fuck with that all day over melody anytime. Like just a
Oh, because it's like you're in the rhythmic phrasing is what you like a lot.
I'm a riff guy. Like I like Metallica. I like Dream Theater. Like I like because the riff will change up every 32 bars, and now it's a new riff, and I'm like, oh my god, it's a new riff. It's sick. Like I like that more than a hummable section I know is going to repeat.
Yeah.
Like
I'm kind of the same way.
But there's two different people out there, you know.
Yeah, those people like trance music, and the other people like drum and bass.
Or they're like, there's some people.
I'm
who
on
like,
your guys' side, so I'm just
the
making
T
clear.
Swift. Yeah, I mean, there's people who like pop, and there's people who like rap.
Yeah,
it's kind of
similar to that.
It's kind of similar, but like I'll fuck with a lot of pop.
Yeah,
you know,
rap.
It really kind of depends.
It's a lot more. Yeah, it's like a lot of bass music. It just feels like it's like hip hop instrumentals on steroids, which is much more centered around a rhythmic sort of feeling. It's more like the rhythmic phrasing and the subdivisions based around the way, you know, it's like polyrhythmic and like kind of syncopated. You know, there's a lot more of that kind of thing happening that's attainable to the ear. That's more like what like a breakdown is in a metal hardcore song.
Exactly.
It's just what bass music is.
Which is what
same thing.
Drum and bass is. It's the drum and bass part of a jungle song, which is the breakdown.
Yeah. Which is all your
it's just the drum and the bass,
and it's all that sort of feeling that's giving you like a movement. And then there's like the melody that, like, you know, melodies are, you know, they both serve their purpose. They're both great for their own reasons.
It's just easier to dance to a riff than it is
to a melody. A melody, something you like listen to and you like smile to. You move
sing
to a rhythm.
You sing to melody. You move to a riff.
You ever seen like those videos of like
this melody right now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, people. I mean, that's what Trump does to the fucking.
Which he has a dance, dude. I will give him that.
What's
for
the
like
fucking
an 82-year-old guy?
He looks like he's always at a fucking wedding and has like four drinks in.
Yeah.
No, have you ever seen those videos of like Swedish House Mafia and like their live shows and everyone in the crowd just, it's like a fucking football game. They're all like da 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 da. I don't know any Swedish House Mafia songs, but like they're singing along to the melody.
Nobody's dancing.
It's so fucking funny. It's like cool for what it is, but like it's just like, it's weird to see that because it's like you're singing a synth lead, or like, you know, it's like okay,
people will do that though.
Yeah,
or same thing for like rhythm songs. Like the rhythm guy always like drops the mic and they're like, because
it's all and it's the same thing every time. Man,
I know
that
this
is
one.
Hey,
yeah, right.
I feel like I've heard this beat before.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I've played with so many like tear out and rhythm guys like opening for them, like big shows, like AT Aliens and guys like that, and, like Shaq and like, you know, people that play.
You opened for Shaq?
Oh yeah, one show.
For DJ Diesel?
DJ Diesel, yeah, and like it is so crazy because like I think in the realm of like the type of bass music I make, you know, somewhere like what, like Peekaboo, that kind of, but whatever that is, that's subgenre
It's kind
of
of
bass
the
music is
new age
considered
West Coast bass.
wubby lower shit. I feel like I'm kind of like on the heavier end of that.
I agree.
Of that music, but when I play for those crowds, dude, they are like so
Bored.
underwhelmed and bored because my music feels
Hilarious.
so just like it's so weird to like see because most of the time I'm like, man, I feel like this is
funny.
too heavy for like a certain crowd like in Denver, but then I'm playing somewhere opening for like AT Aliens and all the people or maybe they just don't give a fuck about me and they don't know who I am. They're like, oh, we're just here to see fucking
Yeah,
AT Aliens. So there
sure.
might be that,
Yeah.
but it just feels like my shit falls so flat and like
Yeah.
because it's not
So
like
depressing.
it's
It's a
it's
bummer,
interesting
yeah.
to see that how like in one, I was like, oh, I get how you could like bomb as a DJ because like with comedians how
yeah.
they talk about bombing all the
Right,
time in
right.
front of crowds. I'm like, well, once you get to a certain point with electronic music production, you like your music's good. Like, how do you bomb anywhere? It's like everyone's gonna like it.
Yeah,
They're going to
it's
show, but it's
taste.
like if people don't know you
Yeah.
and you're in a weird crowd and playing for not the right, like you can fucking.
Well, plus there's
dude.
like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, there's lots of people who, I mean, it's across music in general, where like people love classic rock, but when you actually ask them, they're like, no, it's AC/DC or die. And like to me, I'm like, that's arena rock. That's not classic rock.
Yeah, right.
You know, like I'm real specific with it. But there's some people who just like they don't dig to the same depth of understanding that a lot of other people do because they're more of just a cursory listener. So they're just
Yeah.
like, no, I like anything on Wakan, but only anything on Wakan.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay, it's a little weird, but okay, I'll try and get my head around it because I like some things on Wakan, but not everything.
Yeah.
Because I like my taste is a little more varied in a different direction,
Sure.
but it's everybody's
Totally.
like come up in a different way. So you'll get those kind of weird crowds at a show where like I'll go to a show and Ivy Lab will open and you're like, really, nobody's dancing to this. This is nothing but sauce.
Right.
And nobody's dancing? Like
Like when
What?
Ivy Lab
Well,
opens
also-
for like Rez or
yeah,
something.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
everybody for Rez
Weirdest
is like,
combo.
oh, and you're like, guys, it's 110 mid tempo. It's like
Yeah.
the easiest shit to make. What is
Yeah.
what's
It's-
happening?
Oh.
It's not the easiest
Call
thing to
him
make.
out.
No, it's not. It is hard. I made it for years.
No, tech
It's hard.
house is the easiest thing to make.
Hey, there it is.
There it is. No, but like it also matters extremely depending on where you are in the U.S. Like that is insane. Like take my music for example. If I went to Los Angeles and played it, really, I mean, it'd be all right. It kind of it wouldn't be anything like it is here in Chicago. Pretty similar to here. If I took my music to Miami. Bro, they would be like, "Boo, get the fuck off
know,
the stage!"
I know, right?
You know, if I took it to
What the fuck is this?
yeah, no, like straight the fuck up. It's just like
Yeah.
in certain markets, like your music just does not
Right.
fucking hit
Sure,
the same way.
sure.
And the U.S. is so
It's
fucking varied,
huge.
and it's just like I look at my monthly listeners on Spotify and whatever. It's like
Right, sure.
Denver. Like fourfold has the most listeners compared to every other city. Like it is like it is insane.
I'm not surprised. It's just funny.
Or it's just like
Yeah.
it is such a
That's why we
centrifuge
did the podcast
out here.
you know?
Yeah,
That is one reason we're
we
here.
live here.
yeah,
But
and so many people even. I mean, they call it the fucking bass capital
Yeah,
that's
or
right.
whatever.
goddamn right.
Even though
It
we
kinda
have
seems
one
like it is.
club that's like worthy of that title, and it can
Yeah.
hold like 100 people, maybe. You know, like I love the black box, but it's like
It's a 350 cap.
it's tiny. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, is it
Yeah,
350?
350. Yeah, I sold it out
Oh,
last year.
let's go. Big ups. Big ups.
Hey.
Wow, you can fit 350 people.
Dude,
in that
it
fucking
is a
tiny
fucking
room.
disgustingly
makes sense
slam
to me.
350. It is like
It should be 300.
I
if it's
hate going to the
that.
sold out shows.
Yeah,
honestly.
it
Like,
should be 300.
It's fun because there's a lot of people, but like you're literally just
the
like,
worst
fucking-
sold out.
If you have to stand against the door, it's too many people.
Fucking was it Ogden Theater sold out is the most awful place
Yeah, I believe you.
to be. I'd rather
They're all the way back to
I
the
saw
door.
Slaughter to Prevail there sold out show a few years ago, like their
Okay.
first tour in America here. I walked in late too because it's after work. I got there at like 9 and they already like went and started playing and the place was just fucking slammed. And I was like standing like I had this much room. Like this is like the line where you can't stand where the walkway is, and I'm like this is like the one part of the stage up front and the side right by the PA, and I'm just like this, like standing there for like the whole show. I'm like, God, this is the worst thing ever. Like, why? Just I get
Yeah,
it.
why?
Ticket sales. You want to make as much money as fucking possible.
course.
And if a show sells out, you're going to try and make as much money as you fucking can. And that translates to merch sales. And all the venues are wanting to take 20% of all your fucking merch sales, you know? So
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
it's
Dude,
one of
and then
those kind
sometimes
of
they oversell the tickets and squeeze more people in. Like that's what just happened with Jade Cicada's show that everyone was like so butthurt about.
Oh, yeah.
really?
Where was that at? Was that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember
honestly.
hearing something about that.
Yeah,
That
it was like 4 months ago or something, maybe longer. I don't know.
I think you should always put the sold out cap at like, I don't know, 10% max capacity, like 10% below max capacity.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's so weird too because what the fire
Yeah.
marshal's max cap and what the venue sells max are two completely fucking different things.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
The way
That's
that there's
crazy.
like this like way that everyone just gets away with it all the time is crazy. Because there was one show I played in Chicago and it was. You could maybe comfortably fit 125 people in there. It was like a 180 sellout, and we sold it out, and it was, dude, like people were like literally like leaving because it was so fucking uncomfortable. There's like people like sneaking up into the green room because they're like, dude, we couldn't stand down there. It was hot as fuck, and like blah blah blah. I was like, it fucking
That's
sucks. But
crazy.
that's I don't know, venues are like that though. That's like why like Mission Ballroom, even that sold out, is like it still feels decently comfortable. Or, like,
Yeah.
Red Rock sold out sucks.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well, unless you get there
God.
early,
Yeah.
you get in line.
Which
Like,
I never get to any show early.
oh, I always get to Red Rocks early.
I mean,
Like,
you have to with Red Rocks, I've learned, but like,
yeah, if I go to Red Rocks, I'm getting there like 3 in the afternoon, and I'm
Yeah,
hanging
right.
out for like a while, and then I'm walking up, and I'm sitting on the stairs.
it's a whole day ordeal doing
because
that.
I'm trying to get behind the sound box regardless. Like,
Honestly, no, for real.
there's no better
Just-
spot.
Right by the sound guy.
Yeah, right behind them, because then there's nobody in front of you. You have your own
True, that's nice.
rail, which is nice, and your perfect fucking eye. You're the perfect eyesight. Like, it's a little down to like the stage, so you get the whole stage, but you get all the lights, you get both the speakers. It's the best. It's the best. But it's a pain to get because you have to sit for like an hour or two before even the opener.
You see that video of all those boomers running up into Red Rocks for Widespread Panic the other day?
Really?
Bro, it was so funny. They're all just booking it, getting in there, trying to lay down their fucking little fucking
They're
little
the blankets.
Let's go.
to fuck, dude, there's just like I'm like, damn, that's the only exercise half these boomers have gotten in the last since the last Widespread Panic show.
Right, exactly.
Fucking hilarious.
So it looks like we have some questions from Twitter here.
All right.
Shout out Twitter.
And by
that?
Twitter, I mean X.
Yeah.
That's just forever what is gonna.
Dude, everyone's
be
still
X,
gonna call it Twitter.
Yeah, they just go Twitter X. Like that's what everyone does.
It's like when they changed the Sears Tower in Chicago to the Willis Tower. Everyone in Chicago
Yeah.
still calls it the
Yeah.
fucking Sears Tower.
I mean, to be fair, we're about to make the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
Already is.
Which I'm 100% on board for, but I'm still going to call it the Gulf of Mexico by accident for
Yeah,
years.
right.
It's probably going to be like, oh, the Gulf of America. I guess if you just squeeze in America, just get rid of the A. Yeah, and then the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
Gulf
get it out.
America.
So one of these is crossed out, but I like it. First question, and we'll start with Dave here. What's the worst production advice you've ever gotten?
Ooh, that's a great fucking question.
The worst
Let's go.
production
Let's go.
advice?
You've ever gotten? Dave in the hot seat. Do 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 do.
Gonna test my memory in this.
I know,
moment
right?
like that.
Or if you've got one, you can go
I'm trying.
first.
I'm trying to think of any bad advice. Kind of generally speaking, at this point, I don't know yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Also, I don't think I have one yet.
The things that come to mind for me are
Good.
Go ahead.
it's everything kind of centered around like mastering. I think was like the worst advice I've ever gotten. I
say
break
that's
so
fair.
many rules when it comes to mastering. And like, because if it just sounds good, it sounds fucking good.
sure.
Like, I'll like literally put like a Pro Q3 on my master and just because I don't do the smiley face stuff with my mixes. I try to get it flat. So if it's like
same.
kind of laying like lower in the middle of the mix, I'll literally just take a low Q point and just put it up in the center of my mix and just boost everything in the center of my mix. If it sounds good, it fucking sounds good.
Yeah.
And like people,
I'll do that
everyone would
shit.
tell me that's the worst fucking thing you could ever do. That's like destroying your mix. That's fucking blasphemy. But it's like, dude,
Well,
it makes my mixes louder, makes it
Your
sound more
mix
clear.
isn't my mix, bro.
Yeah.
Every mix is different.
Exactly. Yeah, there's that.
exactly.
I'm trying to think of another like really. I know there's other bad advice I've gotten though.
Right.
I can't think of literally anything
Well,
to
one of
save
them
my life.
I got very recently was if your drop is missing something, add white noise to it. No.
I was like, damn, bro.
I was like, hey, that sounds like something I would say.
Johannes did
kidding.
tell me to put a decap kick on my song, and I was like, "Fuck you."
Fuck you, bro. I'm not going to
Oh,
do
he
that.
has great kicks. though.
I
That's
love,
fine.
I love
kicks.
I like
Johannes,
those
but
kicks.
I like doing my own thing with
That's
my
fair.
kicks.
Yeah.
I don't want to use what everybody else is using.
One of the pieces of advice I got that I don't really like is on your kick, cut under 30 hertz kind of vibe, or on
Ooh,
your
that's
snare.
actually yes.
Yeah, I did that for so long, and like it just fucks with phase. It fucks with like a bunch of shit. I don't like it. I just
It's-
stopped doing it. And
I-
like all of my kicks just instantly were just like better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of those pieces of advice where it's like it comes with a fucking truckload of caveats. Like it's really like you should do that if a million things are possibly happening.
Yes,
It's like-
exactly.
It's so specific.
Yeah,
Right.
that's. I feel like the worst advice I've ever gotten was like people trying to be too specific with anything to come with music
Right.
production or mixing or mastering. It's like
That's what I
at
was
the end
going
of
to
the
say.
day, if it fucking sounds good, it sounds good. I've seen so many people do shit that is like by the book, not right, but it fucking sounds good. So who cares? And like,
Right.
there's like all these purists. I'll be like, oh, that's not fucking this and that, and like, or like airing away from like using samples was a big one for a long time. People like, it doesn't fucking make a difference. Like,
No.
obviously, don't fucking
Depends
like.
on the sound you want to go
Don't
for.
don't take like a shadow sample pack demo track and fucking release that as your own song.
Whoa. That
Not
sounds
gonna
mighty
say-
I don't know what
specific.
you're talking about.
Not
bro.
going to say any names of the growing list of producers that have been caught doing that.
I don't know, but any of you guys
I
want to
know,
come
it
on the
just
pod,
keeps
come on
happening,
up.
right?
Yeah, right.
We'll have a super pod with just like 5 guests who have all
Yeah.
done
All
that.
have all done that and like have them explain to each other why they did it. Damn, that'd be wild. That'd be the coolest podcast
No,
ever.
you-
The intervention episode.
You
or
just,
something.
you just grill them.
I will want to skip this episode so hard.
Yeah, right. Oh
It's
my
okay, we
god.
can fit
if
more
I'm
guests.
if I'm the viewer or the
Yeah, it's not a good
host.
episode. It's a fun episode for us to think about, but like
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that.
I would
That would
actually
feel
want to do it
that would feel
either.
like 60 minutes, like
Exactly. Yeah, or
with fucking bunch
Maury.
of Barbara Walters.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, Maury.
Yeah, we're just
Oh,
on
but
Mario.
Dave,
You
you
are
are dress
not
up as like
the original
Dr.
producer.
Phil or something, or Maury. Yeah.
Damn.
Yo, we should make a second podcast that is just the Maury of producers, and we bring
When it
on-
comes to the
Yeah.
Shadow Sample Pack,
Yeah.
you are the original producer. Oh my god.
Yeah, so my answer for that is
Yeah.
also like too specific of things. That's probably generally the worst advice I've gotten is like any advice that's too specific. Like anything like
you have to roll off, or you have to boost every snare at like 200 hertz, or you have to
or like
roll
your
off
kick drum has to be an eighth note long, or like this or that. Like there's only these things that people will say, and you're like there's
Right.
a couple that are like relatively accurate, but for the most part, you should really just explore.
I still kind of go off of the kick should never be longer than, was that 150 milliseconds or whatever.
I just go around 16th note, and then
I always go
and
16th note. I wonder
and then
how
I
long
use it
is
by
that?
ear.
It's probably
Probably
honestly
right
right around
around.
150
I mean, it depends on
milliseconds.
the BPM you're at.
That-
Yeah,
but-
exactly. That's why I
Yeah.
always look for the
Yeah,
milliseconds over
yeah.
the.
But
Okay.
It depends on the song though. Sometimes you want a fat booty
Exactly,
kick though.
exactly.
Like
That's
if you're
why-
making some like
Style.
80 BPM, like
Yep. Yep. And if you want it to blend real well with an 808, or if you don't have an
or the
808,
kick and 808 are
exactly
in one together.
in one thing, correct.
You know, see,
There's
that's
lots
why,
of different
yeah,
things.
It's
Yeah.
whatever fucking sounds good at the end. It's like that Autobot, that one producer. He didn't fucking know anything that he was doing really.
Yeah.
He's like, he just fucking, he was like, yep, it just sounds good.
Right, because
So-
like you could make a hip hop track that sounds nearly identical, and each version could be the kick is the bass.
Yeah.
the kick is being sidechained into an 808, or it's just an 808. Like you could do those three things and make them sound identical, and there's three different methods being used.
But then someone will tell you one is the best way to do
Correct,
it, and that's
correct.
where you get bad
Right.
advice.
Where you're like, no, one's just easier for you
Exactly.
because that's the way your brain works. Like
Yeah.
that's just all it is. All right, question number 2.
That was a fun question, actually.
Yeah, that was a good one.
By the way,
What does AI say?
172, a 16th note, or I guess a quarter note at 172 is 348 milliseconds.
Quarter note, yeah. So split that in
16th
half.
is
So-
88 milliseconds.
At 172, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Do you produce your songs at, like, let's say you're doing a 140, a dubstep song,
I'll do 140.
you do 140 or 70?
140.
What about you?
I always work at the
same.
fast speed.
140. What about you?
I go
do
up
140.
high.
Yeah, I do.
But-
I do 70.
Oh,
okay.
interesting. Yeah.
See, so when
I like the
when I make like
fidelity.
90 BPM stuff, I always do 90 BPM. I don't make it like 180.
I do
But
180.
then
Why?
about when you're DJing it, are you DJing at 90 or 180?
90. My 90 track,
Crazy.
and then 140. I play at 140.
Crazy.
Yeah,
No,
I
I just keep everything double time. If I'm going to play 140 track at 140,
Yeah.
the halftime track that is
Yeah.
So you're
Same.
DJing it at 180?
Yeah.
If it's 90?
Yeah, because I have a bunch of drum bass that's 172 and shit
Yeah.
like that. So I might as well keep it all up there in the upper.
To be fair, there's not a
Register
lot of like
speeds.
that tempo on our USB.
No, there's a couple 80s that are like halftime, but it's 174, or whatever. It's
Yeah.
just halftime.
Halftime,
Yeah.
I guess there's some 87s and shit like that.
Yeah.
Right.
But they
there.
just need to be fixed.
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm definitely in the rare because I do
Interesting.
everything like my 70. I'm like 70, 71,
Right.
72. So it's like I'll be
86.
doing it back to back with someone. I have to pull out my fucking calculator and be like, oh fuck, what's constant?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would imagine.
I feel like
in theory, not even in theory, it's like technically I am right because like a 140, like a dubstep
Yeah.
song is technically 70 BPM,
That's
not
true.
140.
When I first started producing, that confused the fuck out of me. Like, do you guys know where
I
that
disagree,
came from?
but yes.
Like, why people started doing like 140 halftime, but like
No,
target
I
70
have no,
BPM.
I have no idea.
As far as
I don't
I
understand
know,
that at all.
dubstep, the way we know it, like the deep dub, like the original guys like Scream and stuff,
Oh,
Yeah.
like it comes from like
they were making garage.
right.
And so it was at 140.
And they were
It
making
was
it regular time at first,
Yes.
But then
and
moving
they
the
would move
snare.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was at the 140
Definitely.
tempo, and then that just became dubstep.
Interesting.
But it's such a fucking caveat thing, and it
Yeah.
really is just the difference between you pulling out your calculator. Like anybody can DJ together. It's really like, oh my god, it's 74 instead of this or that. It's like just pull out your calculator real quick. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
You can't use sync. Oh no, just use
I
your
have
ears for a moment.
never. I'm a proud,
Like-
never once user of a sync button ever in my
I love
entire
sync.
life. I've never used sync button. Never will.
I use it all the
scares
time.
the fuck out of me to use it.
It
live.
can fuck you. It can fuck you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
can
that's
fuck
why
you.
I would rather just have two separate machines that I'm operating and make them talk to each other. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that's I don't know.
I think it's good to learn because there's going to be times where it's advantageous to use the sync. For me, if I'm working at 140 and I know this one's at 142, or if I'm working in the 140s the whole time, the sync is nice just because I can tap it twice and it immediately matches the BPM. And then I can still do the DJ and I'm still like beat matching, but I don't have to worry about spending 4 seconds to get it to like the 0.1, the 0.4, the 0.1,
Right,
the 0.2.
yeah.
There we go.
There
Finally.
is a little bit of that,
like I can just
Oh, that's fucking genius.
I've
I
also
just
like
double tap
thought
the
about
sync,
that.
it matches it, and then goes away, and then I can get it on grid.
Wow.
And,
Yeah.
but
It's
everybody DJs slightly different.
slightly different. Yeah.
It's not a science art.
It makes back-to-backing interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's always like, okay, what do I have to
I've always
correct
it's
from-
always like I think it's an
yeah.
unspoken thing that if you're back to backing, especially with more than one person, maybe if it's just one you've done with them before you can use sync, but if there's multiple people back to backing, sync button's off. I feel like that's like a
Really?
That's
Is that
fair.
like etiquette?
I agree.
I think that's the right etiquette.
I think that is the right etiquette, too.
I'm placing that as
Like,
the
if
thing.
you're doing
is
two-
the
I
new
believe
the
it.
new social zeitgeist of that needs like sync button off if you're doing back to backs.
That's fair. Also, can we add to that?
Interesting.
When you're done transitioning, when you're out of this song, like song B, you're playing song 1,
You should stop it.
you stop it and turn down the bass. Or is that just a weird
No,
way that
I
I, mix?
I think
put
you
it
should
back to
leave it.
normal. I feel like you should put them back
Yeah.
all back to normal.
Or at least back to normal.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fair.
I always
yeah.
put it
At
back.
least-
I always put everything back
Yeah.
to
That's-
noon or zero, whatever
Yeah.
unity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever you want
that's
to call
the
it.
worst with DJing with AT and AC is they just leave
Or
their knobs
it's the
fucking
worst.
everywhere.
No.
I'm like,
It's
guys,
not even so
ugh.
much. Not even so much the 3-band is bad, but when people have like a filter
They
effect on it
fade
and they
over.
leave that,
Yeah, that drives me
that
nuts.
is the worst.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Because you're like, why
one
isn't the
show-
cue working? And you're like, oh, the fucking filter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
people, I
Yeah.
turn that off after every
Yeah.
song, and like,
Yeah.
the people that leave it on, it drives me crazy. I'm like,
I,
you're gonna
I got
fuck up a mix.
super aware of that because the show I played with the boys downstairs, the DJs before us left the reverb on for the song, and the first song we played was like a super ambient song, so it just sounded normal. And then the drop happened, and we were like, "What is this? Does it just sound bad like
Yep.
here on
Dude,
stage?"
the beginning
and then
of-
I looked down and I was like, "Oh fuck!" And then it sounded good. And I
The
was like,
beginning
"Oh."
of my Cervantes Other Side headliner was
Oh,
like that
no.
because I had Homemade Spaceship like start off the beginning of the set for me. He walked up and like hit play, whatever.
Right.
Because I was like back before, like
Oh, sure.
walking up like halfway through the intro type thing. And the DJ before me, he had like an effect on. It was like a delay, and it didn't sound terrible, but like it like cuts out like 30 seconds into the intro. I'm like, fuck, god damn it. I'm like, at least Rob caught it when he did, but I was like, fuck, like
I know.
the last dude like I should have turned it off.
It's just the details. It's just paying attention to the details.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like I always walk up and I always.
And it's hard
check
too
everything.
the night of a show too because people are drinking, they're a little bit of buzz, they're trying to catch.
Exactly.
They're trying to cut the edge, and you don't want to get mad at people because it's like I'm also.
I didn't even
nervous as
notice
fuck.
that it happened until I listened back to the recording that I got because I was sitting like
that's
back
all right.
and so I didn't even know. So
It's almost worse though because then the next day you're like, what the fuck?
yeah, right. I was like, damn it! Otherwise, perfect set had to get ruined.
I can't do anything about it now.
Yeah, no, for real, but whatever, it is what it is.
All right. Well, last question here from Twitter, and then we're almost at an hour and a half, boys.
Well, look at us go.
If you could score one movie, what movie would it be?
Avatar.
I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah.
for
Happy
you.
Gilmore too. No.
Hey, Happy Gilmore fucking 8.
Yeah, right. No, fucking. Oh man,
Caleb would do The Princess Bride.
No.
dude, that would go hard.
But I would do any season of Stranger Things.
Oh, that would be
Ooh,
sick.
like some 80s.
Yeah, I love that
fucking-
synthwave shit,
dude.
especially with no drums.
You would
when
crush
there's
that.
just
Yeah.
it's just synths.
I feel like I
think
would
it's
crush
fun.
like some. I'm trying to think of like.
Blade Runner would be a fun one
Right,
also.
right.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna
the
say
same
Blade
vibe.
Runner, similar vibe.
Yeah.
Just pads. That's
I
all
would
it is.
want to do something that's very like not drum heavy,
Right, it's
very
more fun.
like I really my favorite sound design and scoring I ever heard was like the second season of American Horror Story.
Oh.
That fucking
What a deep cut.
That's a
dude,
great one.
wow.
that shit just has resonated with me for so long because it was so cool how they
Which
use these.
season was that?
The first one was definitely one where I was like, that. I watched the full one of the very first one. That had to have been like fucking 12, 13 years ago now,
Wow,
at
was it that long
least.
ago?
Yeah.
What happens in the second season though? I can't remember the score.
Can't remember the second season.
They're very similar. The first and second season score wise, very similar.
Okay.
But it's a lot of that like
right.
like that really just like distorted,
Really
almost like
horny.
almost like old like Skrillexy sounding
Right,
kind of shit,
exactly.
horny.
Dude, I wanna go
not that
back
kind
and
of horny,
listen.
but like
no, but horny as in like
Now
it's
I'm
fucking
hard.
loud and reverby. Yeah, I know. Me too.
yeah, no,
Horns break
exactly.
me up.
But there's also very like dissonant.
Yep.
You know, even like an older, it would be really cool to do like an adaptation like Halloween, but like a newer version of it. So taking old parts from, you know, something, but then like reinventing it almost would be really cool to do. Really into like horror and like all that very dissonant, evil, scary sounding sound design
I
shit.
love that stuff. It's
Lots
so much
of
fun.
impacts
Yeah.
and strings.
Well, it's cool because like it's so. If you watched a horror movie, I saw this like YouTube video a while ago. Basically, they took away the entire score
Yeah,
from
just
and
nothing.
nothing,
Yeah.
dude. You're just like watching, like, oh, none of this is scary, and it like really just hones in how much the score is completely transformative
Yeah,
in making
Wow.
a horror movie. The suspense, the
funny.
fucking, so much of it is centered around that. So
Yeah.
it's very important. Or even
That-
like, there was something else I was watching recently that had the score removed. And I was like, wow, this is the fucking corniest shit ever. I forgot what it was.
That's fun.
Or like a sitcom where they remove the laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Relying on me to laugh?
Don't talk for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Stare at each other.
Dude, yeah.
Right, it makes no sense. You're like, why are they stopping?
This all comes around to my answer, which is some kind of like, what would be, what's like Royal Tenenbaums, that guy? What's his fuck?
You got me stumped. I don't even know
It's
what
not,
that
the,
is.
it's not the
either.
Coen
Yeah.
brothers.
No. Oh man, that might be good though. That
Ooh,
could be
yeah,
good. Big Lebowski would be a good
Right,
one.
right. The Big Lebowski's
All right.
good.
Or like,
I don't wanna
oh brother,
ruin
where
it,
art
though.
thou?
right. What?
Yeah, but like something like
forget
a
what those are
Royal
called.
Tenenbaums or one of his movies, but totally do it wrong. I would just do it very wrong.
That would be
try
fun.
and like manipulate the fuck out of it. I was just thinking, I wonder if you could drop a movie into AI and be like, some AI, and be like, remove the music.
Yeah,
From
I'm
this.
sure.
And then
you gotta
and then,
give it
and
a
then
try.
practice your own
Yeah, you
scoring.
could
That would
do
be cool.
Your own practice scoring.
Doing a
Yeah.
We could do a scoring
Kill Bill
competition.
or
That would be
something would be
fun.
cool. Damn, a scoring competition.
Kill Bill.
Like
Kill
something,
Bill's a great one.
a Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino film would be
Quentin Tarantino would
sick.
go hard.
That's a good idea.
That would
Ooh,
be
I don't
really
think I
fun
could do
to
that.
It'd be hard.
Tarantino.
I could do
Yeah,
that.
I'm sure he's so fucking picky with that shit.
Yeah. I would not want to
Oh, no,
film
he does,
score
like,
for him.
Or there's like
He does really like intense, like deep cut, like random Korean rock group.
Yeah,
I know,
That's
right?
how he does
Yeah,
it.
right.
Like
Yeah.
400 monthly on Spotify.
Yeah,
It's like,
right.
this
No,
shit goes so
exactly.
hard.
He's grabbing
Yeah.
like weird deep cut indie.
Yeah, the
whatever
weirdest shit you could ever imagine.
beats and
Yeah.
shit.
Well, there's like what's his name, like Danny Elfman, who actually just announced he's doing Red Rocks.
Oh,
He did
really?
like all of like Tim Burton stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so and that's like full like
Ooh.
symphony. Or I'm like, how do
That
people
would be
score
fun.
that shit? I'm like, what were they actually hiring like a full fucking
Well, this-
orchestra? And then he was like seriously
there's
like writing
DAWs.
out all that.
There's
But,
DAWs that are built
in
for that.
'88, you think he was doing that?
Oh,
when,
like
No.
like a
Danny
lot of the
Elfman and, like,
first DAWs were just that. They were just notation, and you just put in the notes.
Oh,
and
right,
it would
like
just
how,
play
like,
a really
Guitar Pro
poorly
was,
synth.
yeah.
It would play like a really poorly synth version of it, but you weren't there for the
So you had
playback.
the idea.
Yeah,
I mean, back
You
in
were
those
there
days,
just to write
those guys are
7
like,
different stanzas
that
at
had to
once.
take so fucking long.
these are like
No.
very classically trained
imagine-
people way
Yeah.
back in those days that just know
like John Williams shit.
they could
Yeah.
write
That's
it
like our Beethoven.
freehand.
I was talking with the group chat boys, and we were talking about how much fun would it be to download like Ableton 1 just to play with it, just
Just to see like if you could even work your way around it. Yeah.
Can you make a tune?
Damn.
It looks like almost the same. They haven't
Sure.
really updated the,
Oh,
their
the
UI.
UI
I
is
know. It
not-
looks like the most
Still the
sterile
same
lab
gray.
you've ever seen.
Dude,
Oh my
if that ain't the
God.
most German shit
I
ever,
know.
like Jesus Christ, that is so.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I love Bitwig, because they're just like, at least here's some orange and dark. And you're like, thank you, thank you, fucking A. I've been just dealing with
It's still just gonna
gray
kinda
and
look
turquoise
Yeah, I guess you
forever.
could change skins in Ableton now, but
Yeah.
I'm still on the OG. No, I'm on the one
dark.
darker
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm on
That is
the
the goat.
Ableton with a tan.
Yeah.
Abel Tan.
Ableton. Hey, hit the button. Hit the button.
God damn! I'm gonna write that down. Ableton. All right. What is your movie you'd score for, Austin?
Avatar.
Oh, you already said it. Okay. Well,
Yeah, that'd be so much fun. It's tribal sci-fi fantasy. Like,
right.
It's like borderline the music I'm trying to make anyway.
Yeah. Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Folks, thanks for tuning in this week. We've reached an hour.
Oh yeah. Fucking
Actually, we've
cameras
reached over an
here.
hour. Yeah, I know the camera's here now.
directly in front of us.
Why don't you go ahead and look at the camera and let the people know where they can find you on the internet, Mr. Spades?
Every platform. Spades Music Official. That's Instagram.com/ Spades Music Official. That's what was the other ones? SoundCloud / Spades Music Official. The only one is Twitter, and that's Spades US. But fuck Twitter.
What's that?
Was what?
What's Twitter?
Oh, fuck X. Fuck my ex.
Fuck my ex.
Dude, what an awful fucking name for a fucking.
Yeah, it doesn't make any
X,
sense. But, folks, thanks for tuning in this week. We really appreciate you. We'll see you guys next week. And until then, thanks, Spades. Go follow him. Go follow
other
the
things.
podcast. That's the wrong button. I put the right button. Sorry, guys. Here we go. I'm
Do
doing
all the
it.
viewer
I'm doing good.
things that make us have
Doing
more
good.
viewers. Go share shit around.
And we'll see you guys next week. Big shout outs to Spades for coming on.
Thank
Really
you. Thanks for
appreciate it,
having
man.
me. It's been
Fuck
great.
Yeah.
Hopefully
It's been
I
a great
can
chit-chat.
be on again soon.
Yeah, we'd love to get you back.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, we're going to go
do that.
DJ, guys. We'll talk to you
Hell
later.
yeah.
Peace.
Bye.